This lecture ties together what we've learned about profit maximization and about the shutdown rule. First, when is profit positive for a perfect competitor and when is it negative? Well, as long as price is greater than the average total cost, the maximum profit will be greater than zero. When price is less than the minimum average total cost, no matter how much output the firm produces, its maximum profit will always be less than zero. Let's combine that with what we know about the shutdown rule. We have really three major possibilities. First, price is greater than the minimum average total cost. In this case, the maximum profit will be positive, and the firm will maximize profit by producing the level of output that makes price equal to marginal cost. So I'm going to draw a graph. I'll put I'll measure quantity here, dollars up here, and let's say the average total cost has a minimum at quantity 100, and let's suppose that the minimum average total cost is $20. Now suppose the demand, well, let me do one more thing I got to do here. Marginal cost will pass through the minimum average total cost. So marginal cost will look something like that. Let's draw a nice blue demand curve. Suppose the price in the market is $25. So the firm's demand curve and its marginal revenue curve is a horizontal line at $25. In this case, the firm maximizes profit by producing a quantity where the marginal cost and marginal revenue or demand curves intersect. The profit maximizing quantity will be something greater than 100. Let's call it Q star. In this case, Q star, the quantity that maximizes profit, is greater than 100, the quantity that minimizes average total cost. And we can also see that the price the firm charges, 25, is going to be higher than the average total cost. The firm will be making $4 profit per unit. Since price is greater than average total cost, that makes profit be greater than zero. In this case, the firm's profit will be $480. Again, the area of this shaded triangle. Second condition. Now price is between the minimum average total cost and the minimum average variable cost. In this case, the maximum profit is going to be less than zero, and the firm will minimize its loss by producing the level of output that makes price equal to marginal cost. So let's show this on the graph. Again, we'll start off with a nice, we need to know the average. We got dollars on the vertical axis, quantity on the horizontal axis. Average total cost, we'll say it's its minimum, again, at quantity 100, and the minimum is $20. Now we need average variable cost, a VC. Let's say its minimum is equal to $10, and that occurs where quantity is equal to 80. Now finally, let's suppose that the demand, which I'll make in red, let's say price is $15. So the demand curve and the marginal revenue curve will be horizontal lines at 15. Oh, I've got one more curve, marginal cost. Marginal cost must pass through the minimum average variable cost and through the minimum average total cost. All right, so big dot, big dot. To maximize profit, we would find where marginal cost equals price. There's my purple dot. The purple dot shows me the quantity. Let's say it's 95. When quantity is equal to 95, that makes price equal marginal cost. They both equal $15. But it also makes price equal 15 be less than average total cost. If we go up here to the graph, to average total cost curve, that's going to be something like $21. That means when the firm makes 95 units, its profit is going to be less than zero. The firm is suffering a loss. Now the question is the firm better off producing or the firm be better off shutting down? We answer that by looking at the difference between price and average variable cost. Average variable cost is something like $11. So price greater than average variable cost means you're better off produce 95, not zero. Now the loss the firm suffers will equal this area of a rectangle I'm shading off. The firm's loss equals that shaded rectangle, but the loss it suffers at quantity 85 is less than the fixed cost it would pay if it's shut down. Final possibility. Minimum manageable cost is greater than price. In that case, again, profit's going to be less than zero, but now the firm minimizes its loss by shutting down in the short run. So let's draw a graph for this one. We're going to measure quantity on the horizontal axis. We'll measure dollars on the vertical axis. Average total cost, average variable cost, and marginal cost got to go to the minimum of those two. And we were saying that the minimum average total cost, average variable cost occurs at quantity 80 and at a value of was $10, if I remember correctly. Let's suppose that price equals $8. I'll do it in blue. If price is 8, then demand and marginal revenue curves are both horizontal lines at $8. When the firm picks the quantity that makes price equal to marginal cost, it'll produce quantity something like 60. So Q equals 60 leads to price equals marginal cost equals 8. So we've satisfied the marginal revenue, marginal cost rule. It also makes price equals 8 be less than average total cost, which is way up here somewhere. 20, let's say it's 25 or something like that. But more importantly, price equals 8 is now less than average total cost, which equals something like $12. Since price is less than average variable cost, that means that the loss is lower when Q equals 0. The loss the firm suffers when it produces 0 is its fixed cost. In this case, its fixed cost will be less than the loss it would suffer if it produced 60 units of output.